my passion for food, really came at a young age. Like the hard work and the dedication, watching other chefs just really like put everything into their craft. That was really, really inspiring. And then, as I sort of came to work, and then I, began to travel also, and I knew that I had to make food and travel into something. And we're really almost lucky to have come up with such a good concept that a lot of people ask, how hasn't this been done before? And it means that we still get to explore the world, travel, cook, and then come back, and then we really showcase what we saw. And every time I go to the country, I always work somewhere as well for a couple of days for free at one of the best kitchens or somewhere I'm interested to learn from, because it's always good. Even though I'm the head chef here, you get to go into someone else's kitchen and you learn a million things that you never knew. Every time, like when we kick off, say with Mexico, all of a sudden we have like a lot of Mexican Australians coming in for dinner, and like when we did Israeli, we had a lot of Jewish, the Jewish community. Once we get a bit sort of more organised, we try and get everything ordered in. But when we're starting to do the new menus and when we're doing all our research, we really have to go around town and we talk to all the other chefs in Melbourne and get an understanding, where do you source this, how do you get this? And even at the moment we've got these amazing Peruvian chilies that they're so hot it's stupid, but we didn't want to use the tinned or the jarred ones, and we're able to find someone who's locally growing these. And even the Peruvian chef who was here the other day was surprised because he hadn't seen them before. So I grew up a Melbourne boy, and I have lived in a lot of places overseas, but when I was young, there definitely was my mum's cooking that inspired me. When I was 15 and working at Stokehurst in St Kilda, I got to learn a lot, and then I was working at Beaumont, started my apprenticeship at 16, and that really just kicked off the career by being able to, in Melbourne, being able to work at some of the best places from a young age. So we work with this amazing organic grower in Mainridge, so we'll give them 6 months advance notice and he'll grow us some really interesting things for our cuisines. So for the Mexican menu, we had this Mexican cinnamon basil that I'd never seen before, and it's just so amazing, really lifted the cuisine to something that it wouldn't have been otherwise. I think next for us, we want to really expand our fast food brand. Like we really have a lot of problems with how fast food is perceived, and we want to, it doesn't have to be unhealthy and bad for the environment, so that's something we're really trying to push. I always love exploring the outer suburbs. Like you just find the most incredible restaurant and food experiences, some markets of course, and then I love the botanical gardens.
I was the cultural officer for this region for about 15 years. My job was to look after sites, work with archaeologists on preserving what heritage there was, work to find local knowledge of the local tribes. A lot of my work is helping young people develop both in arts and in social structure. My early days involvement was working in legal service, helping set up some of the organisation, pushing for some of the political changes. I then later on moved into working on culture and heritage with the approval of the Wurundjeri people of Melbourne. I was also involved in helping set up the Koori Heritage Trust, the first Indigenous gardening and landscaping scene, and I think I had a little bit to do with changing some laws. So the Yarra is the youngest river in Melbourne. The Euros came into here. They seen these, what would be Wurundjeri, but on this side, the Murrin-Bullock people hunting possums. When it finally got through to them, what they were pointing to, the Murrin-Bullock replied, Murrin belong. But because they spoke like this, like this, it was Murrin belong. So they didn't hear the belong. So they assumed it was an Aboriginal word, Murrin belong, when actually Murrin, saltwater, people belong. I think at times people should learn its real myths, like not the myths they create, but those myths and legends have meaning. The river has meaning, and the stories around the river had meaning.
I was at Rusden doing a teacher training course, but majoring in art. And we had an excursion to the workshop in 1978, I think it was. And I came in to the building. It's the same building as it is now. And it was just I loved it. There was a tapestry on the loom. It was an Alan Weinstein tapestry. It was the first commission, one of the first commissions the workshop had, and it was for the Saskatchewan Arts Centre in Canada. And I thought I'd really like to do that. A couple of years later I saw an ad for a summer school that the workshop was running at RMIT, and I did that summer school, and I was really lucky enough to get a job here. The dyes we use on our wools and our cottons are the highest quality that you can get. Like, we've done a series of tapestries for Melbourne airports, but there's lots of lovely tapestries to see around Melbourne. So we've got a really lovely tapestry in the Peter McCallum Centre. It's a John Olsen tapestry called Life Births. That's a beautiful tapestry. We've got one in the Royal Women's Hospital, a Sally Smart. I've worked on the Utzon tapestry that we wove for the Sydney Opera House, and it took us 9 months to weave. And the workshop has had a program of putting our tapestries into Australian embassies overseas and using Indigenous artists for the artwork. We get out our colour range, and it's the walls on the tables, and then as the tapestry goes, we just mix our colours as we go along. That does make us unique. Tapestry should last for hundreds of years because we are using the best quality materials. Wool lasts forever, so the tapestries are going to last much longer than us.